the Radio Forest Podcast.
Hi, Forest. Gary Hoey calling.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, brother?
Good. It's weird to talk to you not around Christmas, though.
It's very strange to not hear the sleigh bells going.
Right? Is your guitar handy? Do you still keep it near you when you do non-Christmas interviews?
Oh, yes, sir. I absolutely have it right here.
Any way you can give me a little bit of that riff from Avalanche? I love that new song.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, as a really good guitarist, is it hard to write something that simple? And don't take that in the wrong way. You're not like shredding. It reminds me of like Nirvana or Black Sabbath. I'm like, oh, I could play that. That sounds like something I could learn in a day.
Yep, exactly. You know, it's simple is not easy, you know, because we have all these notes and different fancy things we can do. But what gets people in the gut is, for me, it's like a simple riff that has something cool about it, or the beat is cool, and it reminds me of like an AC/DC or a Zeppelin or whatever it is. It's just, you know, Black Sabbath that just, I don't know. I find it actually harder and more challenging to write something simple, you know, with an A chord.
Yeah. It's got to be hard,
sure.
too, because you're like, well, someone's probably already used these chords, so I have to get super creative. But, I mean, that's a very original sounding riff.
Thank you so much. Well, you know what? It's funny because to take like the same notes we've all been using for a million years, or take those same chords and change them in a way. And that's what's cool about music, is because you don't know when something's going to hit you and make it uniquely original in your own, because if you get out of the way, that stuff's going to happen. Because when I wrote this riff, I wasn't like going, oh, I'm going to put A, B, C together. It just came out. I just like played it. And then later I was going through some ideas I had recorded, and I said, hey, that's kind of cool. I like that, you know, and it just, that's when the good stuff comes, is when you don't know you're doing it.
For me, like if I pick up a guitar, there's a couple of riffs that they just feel good. They sound good. I don't think they're necessarily great songs. Well, that's not right. They're not necessarily challenging, but I enjoy playing them, like Sweetly from Sabbath. If I sit down with the guitar, I have to do that, or something from CCR. So for you, what are your go-to riffs just to kind of noodle around on the guitar?
Well, it's funny because, yeah, there's so many riffs that, like, if you play them, so they just feel fun to play. And for me, it could be like something, you know, it could be like a... like a Jimi Hendrix. Like a Wind Cries Mary. That's something I might sit around to play. I like doing stuff like, you know... you know, just like an old school ZZ Top riff or something I can stomp my foot to.
Now, I know I can't see you right now because we're on the phone, but can you dissect Billy Gibbons a little bit? Because you can get the tablature and you can get the notes for ZZ Top and you can play them, but it doesn't sound like him. But what you played does. Is it your rhythm hand? Is it the bending of the notes? How do you portray the feel of Billy Gibbons?
Well, I think with Billy Gibbons, it comes down to the groove and muting with your right hand, like using the flesh part, like to mute the strings, and then kind of finding where the little choke harmonics are. Like if he goes like, and he starts going, you know. It's sort of like choking up on a baseball bat. You know, you got to put less of the pick in your finger and slide more of it back, and then move your hand basically on a lateral direction, and you'll find those squealy notes like Billy.
Now, when you were first starting then, what were some of the riffs that you gravitated towards when you first were getting attracted to the guitar? For everybody, it's Smoke on the Water, but what about you?
Well, the early ones were definitely, you know, things like, you know, Black Sabbath. Like to play that was like adrenaline rush.
What about the final show? I don't assume so with your touring schedule. Any chance that you're going to check out that final Ozzy show this summer?
You know, if there's any way I can, I definitely will. he's definitely been one of my favorites forever.
Now, you famously tried out for Ozzy, and I believe that's the gig that went to Zakk Wylde. Have you kept in touch with Sharon or the team or anybody, or has it been so many years that it's kind of hard?
Yeah, because it's been so long, so much has gone on in between, but there was a period where, if I would see him or run into some place, and I would send a message out and stuff like that. But no, it's one of those things where that single audition gave me the confidence in myself to relocate to Los Angeles, to find my manager, to sign with Warner Brothers Records. So it's really weird how something in life you can go, well, I didn't get that audition or I didn't get that thing, but did it get you closer to where you really wanted to be? Did it give you the confidence? It must have did something just preparing for it, So Ozzy did that for me, which is super cool.
Tell me about the video for Avalanche. It's super cool. You've got your son with you. Who's the killer drummer? Doesn't she play with the Eagles of Death Metal?
Yes, that is Leah. That's Leah Bluestein on drums and her fiance, soon-to-be husband, Mike, on bass. And they're a great young team. They come from New England, so they're from this area, and they've been playing with me on some tours, doing my holiday tour and things like that. So they were around at the time we were shooting the video. I'm like, you guys want to do a video? It's really fun.
How is it playing and touring with your son? I mean, I know that's a pretty generic question, but things got to be working well to continue that relationship in a professional sense.
Yeah, it's so great. It's like being like having a job, whether you're a bricklayer or you do custom furniture and you want to bring your kid on the job with you. It's like rock and roll is my thing, and my kid loves guitar, so it's, he's 23, he's not a kid anymore, but to play with him on stage is just, I get a broken neck from staring at him, and then to be there hanging out with him when we're just driving from city to city and, going out to breakfast or something, that's like the moments where when he was really young and I was touring a lot, I missed out on. Now he's on tour with me, and just seeing him grow and learn, it's just super amazing. And the fans are really loving seeing us together.
What about touring with Lou Gramm? You've got some more shows coming up this year. That's got to be a dream come true, right? To play those classic songs. Oh,
man. Playing with Lou is just an incredible thing because it's like every night, we're playing like, and you don't realize until you play those songs how amazing they are because we grew up with them. It's like one hit after another. Feels like the first time. It just keeps going from hit after hit.
How much flavor can you add? Because those songs are iconic. You got to play the solo note for note. The riff, you can't get too wild. Is that constricting, or do you find it kind of inspiring in a way?
Yeah, it's inspiring because when you dig into the songs, you realize how great they are. And the solos, you want to do them like the record because they're so iconic. But then Lou gives me spaces to just rip up for a little while and shred out. And those are fun because we can stretch out the songs and I can do my own thing.
What about Lita? Weren't you working on a new album with her the last time I talked to you? But it's been a while since she's released something. Isn't that completed?
She's just waiting to find a home and get the right record company. I know she's been talking, her and her manager, to some different places. But yeah, it's all done and it sounds amazing. I can't wait for her to get it out. It seems like it's taken a minute to get it out. She's really excited, and having her on the new record on You Know I Would, she sang on that song and just killed it. She's amazing. Working with her is always incredible. She's so incredible.
What's her guitar style like then? You've worked with so many different musicians and singers. What kind of a player is she?
What's great is Lita's got such a guitar style, and it's kind of like a blend of like punk rock, hard rock, and metal, because she loves Black Sabbath, but she also loves the Ramones. That's why we connected so well musically, is because we would finish each other's sentences, be like, oh, remember that song? Yeah, I remember that song. And just, we love Richie Blackmore, and she coming up in the Runaways, being the first all-female band with Joan Jett and all dressed in lingerie, it was hard for people to take them seriously because they were hot-looking young girls, and no one never seen an all-girl band. So here's Lita breaking down doors with her flying whatever, Hamer, Explorer, and all those old videos. And she was an amazing guitar player. And then going into her solo career, again, amazing guitar player. It's like she can shred, she can rip, she can play the blues. But crawling on her knees in dry ice, people just didn't take her seriously. And she didn't get the credit she never stopped fighting for it, and that's what I love about her. And her new record, her and I did some guitars together on her new record. That are just, when people hear it, it's like she keeps going up and up and up.
How do you prepare to go on a rock cruise? And also, what are maybe some common mistakes for your first cruise, things to avoid if you're a musician getting on one of these or a fan?
Well, I think for me, if you've never been on a cruise or you're not sure about cruising, the first thing I'll say is seasickness sometimes can hit you. So I wear these things called sea bands, and they look like sweatbands, and you put them on your wrist, and it has a little thing that puts a pressure point on your wrist, so it keeps this thing with your blood pressure. So it kind of like helps you with motion sickness. So I'd say bring some of those bands. They're cheap enough. Get some Dramamine, just in case you're with someone that gets motion sickness. So get that out of the way, and then just be ready for an amazing experience with 3,000 people that all love music, 4 days, hearing 20 bands from Alice Cooper to Foghat to Boris to Kaut. You're just in your flip-flops and in your shorts running around the ship seeing different shows. It's really an amazing time.
Have you gotten sick, or have you worn those bands as a precaution? Because I've been on a couple of boats, and I usually take that stuff being like, well, it's better to take it and feel nothing than to get halfway out and then I'm sick and a day's ruined.
Absolutely. I put the bands on right away. I just don't want to take a chance. So I've always kind of worn them just to be safe. I'm not someone that tends to get like motion sickness or anything. I'm with people that do. And so I've just seen it, and it's just, it's not fun to end your trip. But usually it's fine, and the ships are so solid. I mean, it's like you're on a floating city. You don't even feel the motion hardly ever.
Well, it's Gary Hoey, the guitarist. Avalanche, new album, title track with the video is out. Gary, is this the first solo album in 6 years? Is that how long it's been?
It has been 6 years. Right around COVID, 2019, I put out my last record, and then I went down to lockdown. I helped out my mom for a couple of years before she passed. And then my sister passed from cancer, my young sister, about 4 months before my mom. So I had this double whammy of emotional family stuff that hit. So this record is a therapeutic outcome of that.
Well, it's Avalanche. He's got tour dates, also hitting the road with Lou Gramm. He's got cruises. He's got it all. And, of course, we'll get some more Christmas stuff as we get further on into the year. Gary Hoey, man, it's nice to talk to you today.
You too. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much.